I'm sure you've heard the news. The air hung heavy in the courtroom, thick with anticipation. This is gonna blow your mind. Amidst the somber anticipation, a silent communication passed between a little girl and her furry companion. Her tiny hand rested lightly on the dog's head, fingers gently stroking the soft fur behind his ears. Their bond filled the silent courtroom with a warmth that contrasted sharply with the cold formality of the legal proceedings. I bet you didn't know the incredible bond between a girl and her dog could shock a courtroom. Lily, her name whispered amongst the courtroom observers, was no ordinary girl. Her bright eyes held a wisdom beyond her tender years, mirroring the soulful gaze of her golden retriever Buddy. Their bond was a silent language of love and understanding that transcended words. Buddy wasn't just a pet. He was Lily's rock, her constant companion in a world that often felt too big and too loud. The courtroom seemed to hold its breath, the weight of the impending decision pressing down on everyone present. The case was a complex custody battle that had dragged on for months. On one side stood Lily's aunt, a woman with a stern demeanor. On the other, a young couple, their faces etched with worry and longing. Through it all, Lily remained the eye of the storm, her small figure a beacon of innocence amidst the maelstrom of legal arguments. Lost in the sea of faces and legal jargon, Lily's eyes welled up, her small body trembling with fear. The judge, a kind-faced woman with silver hair, noticed the subtle shift in Lily's demeanor. She had seen countless children pass through her courtroom, each carrying their own invisible burdens. But there was something about Lily's quiet resilience and the unwavering devotion in her dog's eyes that tugged at the judge's heartstrings. Seeking clarity, the judge called for a brief recess, offering everyone a moment to catch their breath. As the courtroom buzzed with whispers, Lily leaned down and whispered something into Buddy's ear. Buddy nudged her hand with his wet nose, his warm brown eyes understanding her unspoken fears. In that moment, a glimmer of hope flickered between them, a silent promise to face the future together. The judge, observing this tender exchange, felt a warmth spread through her chest, a sense of hope that transcended the legal complexities. The courtroom seemed to soften, the harsh lines blurring as the silent exchange between Lily and her dog stole the show. The judge, her face etched with the weight of countless decisions, addressed Lily directly. Her voice, usually firm, softened as she spoke to the young girl, acknowledging the emotional turmoil. Lily, clutching her teddy bear tighter, looked up at the imposing figure in the judge's chair. The courtroom seemed to shrink around her, amplifying the importance of the judge's words. Every gaze in the room was fixed on her, their hopes and anxieties projected onto her small frame. "Do you understand what's happening here, Lily?" the judge asked, her voice a calming presence. Lily nodded slowly, her eyes welling up with tears she refused to let fall. She understood more than they realized, including the depth of the bond she shared with Buddy. He was her confidant, her protector, her anchor in a world that suddenly felt chaotic and unpredictable. "Your Honor," Lily's voice, barely a whisper, cut through the courtroom silence. All eyes turned to her, drawn to the raw emotion etched on her young face. "Buddy is my family too," she said, her voice gaining strength. "He takes care of me. He makes me feel safe." The courtroom held its breath, the impact of her words reverberating through the silent chamber. The judge, her expression softening, leaned forward. "Lily," she said gently, "we want to understand what Buddy means to you. Can you show us?" Lily hesitated, then with a mischievous grin whispered, "Dance for the judge, Buddy." Buddy, never one to disappoint, tilted his head, his tail wagging furiously. The courtroom watched in stunned silence as Buddy rose to his hind legs and began to sway rhythmically. Buddy, a symphony of wagging tail and clumsy grace, moved with an awkward rhythm that had the courtroom enchanted. His ears flapped with each step, and his tongue lolled out in a goofy grin. It wasn't a polished performance, but a pure expression of love for Lily. The courtroom, usually a place of rigid formality, echoed with spontaneous laughter. The tension dissipated, replaced by a sense of shared wonder and amusement. Lily, her initial shyness forgotten, threw back her head and laughed, a sound so pure it spread like wildfire. Even the judge couldn't suppress a smile. The courtroom, usually a place of somber pronouncements, had been transformed into a stage for an unexpected performance. For a few precious moments, the weight of the case seemed to fade into the background. As Buddy's dance reached its grand finale with a dramatic flop, The courtroom erupted in applause. The judge, wiping a tear from her eye, used her gavel to call for order, but the warmth in her gaze betrayed her amusement. She had seen enough. This wasn't just a dog performing a trick, it was a testament to the powerful bond between a child and her pet. "It's clear to me," she announced, "that this dog is an integral part of Lily's life, a source of comfort and unwavering support. To separate them would be a grave injustice." Her words were met with a collective sigh of relief, the tension replaced by a palpable sense of hope. The courtroom, bathed in the warm glow of the afternoon sun, stood as a silent witness to a moment of pure, unadulterated love. The light filtered through the tall windows, casting a golden hue that seemed to wrap the room in a gentle embrace, as if the very walls were acknowledging the significance of the moment. Lily, her small hand resting on Buddy's head, beamed at the judge, her heart overflowing with gratitude. Her eyes sparkled with a joy that was almost palpable, a joy that seemed to radiate from her very soul and fill the room with an infectious warmth. The weight of the world, which had pressed down on her small shoulders just moments ago, seemed to lift, replaced by a sense of relief so profound it brought tears to her eyes. Those tears, however, were not of sorrow, but of a deep, overwhelming sense of happiness and release. Buddy, sensing her joy, nudged her hand with his wet nose as if to say, "We did it, Lily. We're a team." His eyes, full of understanding and loyalty, mirrored the bond they shared, a bond that had been tested and had emerged stronger than ever. The judge, watching their exchange, felt a warmth spread through her chest, a sense of satisfaction that transcended the legal complexities of the case. It was a rare moment where the law and the heart found common ground, where justice and compassion walked hand in hand. She had witnessed firsthand the power of love, the unbreakable bond between a child and her dog, and it had touched her heart in a way she never thought possible. It was a reminder of why she had chosen this path, a reaffirmation of the human spirit's capacity for love and resilience. The courtroom, once a battleground of legal arguments and emotional pleas, had become a sanctuary, a place where love and compassion had triumphed. The air was thick with emotion, a collective sigh of relief and joy that seemed to echo off the walls. And in that moment, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the room, it felt as though anything was possible, as though even in the face of adversity, love would always find a way. The fading light seemed to symbolize the end of one chapter and the hopeful beginning of another. The image of Lily and Buddy, their bond unbreakable, their love a beacon of hope, would forever be etched in the annals of that courtroom, a testament to the power of connection. Their story would be told and retold, a shining example of the triumph of the human and canine spirit, a reminder that sometimes the most profound truths are spoken not in words, but in the silent language of the heart. In that silence, there was a conversation more meaningful than any spoken words, a dialogue of love, hope, and unyielding connection. A hush fell over the courtroom as the judge prepared to deliver her verdict. The air, thick with anticipation, crackled with unspoken emotions. Lily, clutching Buddy's leash tightly in her small hand, held her breath, her heart pounding in her chest. The weight of the past few months, the uncertainty, the fear of being separated from her beloved companion pressed down on her with renewed intensity. The judge, her gaze sweeping across the silent courtroom, spoke with a clarity and conviction that silenced even the most skeptical observers. "In the case of Lily and her canine companion Buddy," she began, her voice resonating with an authority born of experience and compassion, "the court has reached a decision that honors not only the letter of the law, but also the spirit of love and compassion that should guide all our actions." Her words, echoing through the silent chamber, were met with a collective sigh of relief that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. The tension that had gripped the room for weeks, the unspoken anxieties that had cast long shadows over the proceedings, seemed to dissipate, replaced by a palpable sense of hope and the anticipation of a brighter future. The courtroom, usually a place of formality and restraint, erupted in spontaneous applause as the judge announced her verdict. Lily and Buddy would remain together. The decision, a victory for common sense and compassion, sent a ripple effect through the room, washing over everyone present with a wave of relief and quiet jubilation. Lily, her eyes shining with tears of joy, threw her arms around Buddy's neck, burying her face in his soft fur. He, in turn, responded with enthusiastic licks, his tail wagging furiously, as if he understood the magnitude of the moment. Even the lawyers, hardened by years of legal battles and accustomed to the adversarial nature of their profession, couldn't suppress smiles of satisfaction. The judge, observing the heartwarming scene from her bench, allowed herself a rare moment of unbridled emotion. She had witnessed firsthand the power of the human-animal bond, its ability to transcend language, to bridge divides, to heal even the deepest wounds. And in that moment, as she looked out at the joyous faces in the courtroom, she knew that her decision had not only upheld the law, but had also affirmed the fundamental goodness that resides in us all. The heartwarming story of Lily and Buddy, the little girl and her devoted dog, who had captured the hearts of a courtroom, quickly spread beyond the confines of the justice system, touching lives everywhere. Newspapers picked up the story, their headlines proclaiming, "Justice for Lily and Buddy," and "Dogs Dance Moves Sway Courtroom." The public was enchanted, social media buzzed with messages of support, with hashtags trending and people sharing their thoughts. People from all walks of life shared their own stories of the transformative power of animal companionship, creating a wave of positivity. Lily and Buddy became overnight celebrities, their bond inspiring countless others. Their story was a testament to the unbreakable bond that can exist between humans and animals, a bond that knows no bounds. They were invited to appear on talk shows, sharing their journey with a wider audience. Their every move was captured by a throng of photographers and reporters eager to document their every step. But through it all, Lily remained grounded, her love for Buddy her constant compass, her unwavering guide in a world suddenly thrust into the spotlight. Their bond was unshakable. Their story resonated with people far and wide, transcending cultural and geographical boundaries. It was a reminder that in a world often defined by division and discord, there is still room for love, loyalty, and the simple joys of companionship. Their story reached across the globe, uniting people in a shared sense of compassion and hope. It was a powerful reminder that even in challenging times, the bonds we share with our pets can bring us together. There is still room for love, loyalty, and the simple joys of companionship. Lily and Buddy, the little girl and her dog, had become unlikely ambassadors for a kinder, more compassionate world, their story a beacon of hope in an often turbulent sea of uncertainty, reminding us all of the power of love and friendship. Their journey continues to inspire, a shining example of the incredible bond between humans and their animal companions. We want to hear from you. Share your own stories of unbreakable bonds with your pets in the comments below. Let's spread the love and inspire each other. In the quiet aftermath of the intense courtroom drama, as life slowly returned to a semblance of normalcy, the echoes of the past began to fade. Lily and Buddy retreated to the comfort of their own little world, a sanctuary where they found solace and peace. The bond they shared, forged in love and strengthened through adversity, was a beacon of hope and resilience, remained unbreakable, a testament to the enduring power of connection and the strength found in companionship. Each day was a gift, a new chapter in their shared journey, a tapestry woven with shared walks in the park, where every step was a new adventure, cozy evenings curled up on the couch, where stories were read and dreams were shared, and the unspoken language of love that only they truly understood, a silent conversation of hearts. Lily, her heart overflowing with gratitude and joy, cherished every moment with her faithful companion, knowing that each second was a precious gift, knowing that their bond was a precious gift, a treasure to be nurtured and protected with all her heart, a treasure to be nurtured and protected, a bond that was as strong as it was tender. Theirs was a love story written not in words but in shared moments, in silent understanding, in the quiet whispers of the soul, in the unwavering loyalty that emanated from their very beings, a loyalty that was pure and unyielding. Lily and Buddy, the little girl and her dog, had shown the world that love knows no bounds, that it transcends all barriers, that even in the most unexpected of places, love can flourish. Even in the face of adversity, love can be a guiding light. The power of connection can prevail, overcoming all obstacles and challenges. And as the sun set on another day, casting a golden glow over their world, casting long shadows across the land, they found peace in each other's presence. Their silhouettes merged into one, a symbol of their unity and love, a testament to the unbreakable bond that united them, a reminder that sometimes the simplest moments are the most profound. The greatest love stories are the simplest ones, the ones written on the hearts of a child and her dog. A love that is pure, simple, and everlasting. Share your comments below and subscribe to the channel if you're not done yet. And see you in the next video.